So now we will demonstrate adding some journal entries. So let's say I purchased, or rather I get a loan from the bank with the ultimate aim of purchasing a house. So let's say on the 2nd of July 2022, I get a bank loan approved and I get the money. I can enter a description, I can enter any transaction description that is meaningful to me, and I can use the tab keys to navigate between each of these sections. Now the transaction category, as we already discussed, we have created some transaction categories. So this is the bank loan for house purchase, say like that, and click enter to add that transaction category. So now that has been added. If you hadn't created a transaction category earlier on when we were setting it up, you can click this button to navigate to that window, which will allow you to create a transaction category, then come back here. So let's say we borrowed 200,000. Okay, unit 1, keep it as such. If you have a receipt, you can add a link to the receipt. Click that button and then it will open up the Explorer, and then you can attach a link to the receipts if you want. I don't have a receipt in this case, so I will just cancel that. Or if you have other file that you want to attach, you can do the same. As you sort of click into there, it opens up the Explorer for you to attach. This section is for tax purposes. This is a new section that's been added. In this case, it's not tax deductible, so let's leave it at that and click Save Entry. So I have now got a $200,000 injection of cash into my cash account. So maybe let's go to this review ledgers and have a look at that. I can see I have $200,000 here. Now let's say we actually purchased the house. So let's say on the 5th of July, we purchased a house. We already created transaction category for that earlier, purchase of house, so we can essentially select that, add that. And let's say the cost of the house was essentially the same cost, same loan as same as the loan account amount, 200,000, and let's enter that. And let's go back and have a look at our cash account now. So the actual balance is now zero because we initially got the bank loan and we now spent it to buy the house. So the balance is zero. If we look at real estate, we can see we have a $200,000 debit in there. And if we essentially look at our mortgage payable, you will see that we actually have a $200,000 credit, which is a liability. Okay, now let's say we have to make our mortgage payments. Let's say we have been making some mortgage payments that we haven't been recording. 31st July 2022. Rather than adding individual ones, let's say I want to duplicate these. Okay, let's duplicate them for a few months. Okay, we have to break down the mortgage payment to the principal and the interest. So let's type mortgage interest payment. Transaction category, we already set up a category called mortgage interest payment. Add that, and let's say the interest part of monthly payment is $500. Let's say, yeah, $500. All right. Now I'm adding this payment for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. I've done that, and let's also do the principal payment. Think I did it for 5 months, didn't I? And as I mentioned earlier, I don't have, if I'm repeating a transaction, I don't have to type the whole thing again, because anytime I type something, it automatically saves it. So in the future, I can select it from here. So entering the information, repeated entries become very easy. So in this case, I have not entered the principal payment before, so it's actually a new entry. I had already set up a transaction category at that, and let's say the principal part of the monthly payment is $400, and I'm doing that for 5 months in one go, and it's done that. So let's now go and have a look at our ledgers. How much interest have I paid so far? I paid 2,500 of interest, which is an expense. Let's go back and have a look at the principal payment. So I made some monthly payments of 2,000 bucks in total. The initial borrowing was 200,000, so I still have a balance of 198. I can now have a look at these, which will show me all the journal entries here, and this will show it in a different cut, basically by transaction categories. Okay, let's just set another entry. Let's say 15th of December 2022. Groceries. Grocery purchase at let's say my 150 bucks. I add that. Okay, that's 15th of December. And let's say on the 25th of December, I did another grocery run. So now weekly grocery shopping. See, I don't have to type it again. Groceries, groceries, and let's say 100 bucks. I've added that. It shows it here. I can see how much I spent on groceries. 250 bucks. Uh, I guess if I look at my bank account, I should probably be negative because I didn't have any income other than that 200,000 I got from the loan, so I'm negative. Let's say on the 15th of December, I got my salary. Okay, let's just call it salary. Let's say monthly salary 5,000 bucks. So if I have a look at my account as of today, I would have 250 bucks after all the outgoings and incomings and so on. So that's how this works. And also another thing is I can enter dates that are in the future. Okay, let's just say I want to forecast some income. So now these are the ones that I've entered for future date. So when I actually come to that date, I can either come here and edit that information if that's not correct and validate it, or if it is already correct, I can essentially validate it as it is without editing that. And if I made an error in one of the journal entries, that's where this form comes into play. I can sort of go back and edit any of these entries and correct them. So that's a summary of how to use this double entry ledger system. And as mentioned previously, you can download it and improve it, change it to suit your requirements, or derive some inspiration to create something better for yourself.